what does your perfect Disney day look like? Rides, snacks, or just soaking in the magic? Tonight, we're comparing notes and building the perfect plan. So no stress, no chaos, just pure Disney fun. Welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle live.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I
go. Hello everybody, happy Wednesday. It's definitely got that Wednesday feeling about it, and I'm very happy to be joined not only by John but also special guest tonight. We have Adam from Devonshire Diz. I hope you're both doing well tonight.
Yeah, Hi guys. Good to have you back on the show, Adam.
Yes, thank you kindly for the invite. I had a blast last time, so I appreciate you inviting me back.
No, it's good.
So much looking forward to this. I think we all have that thought of what makes a good Disney day, and is there such a thing as a perfect Disney day? I think that's the thing. When you've got a 14-day ticket, you sort of think, okay, we've got plenty of days to do the parks, but do you ever actually set out and plan what you want to do during the day? So if you're watching live, tell us in the chat where you'd like to start your morning, your Disney day. And don't forget to hit that like button so more Disney fans can find us. We have podcasts that come out on the 1st and 15th of every month, and we're live every Wednesday at 8:30 over on YouTube. So John, I'm going to throw this straight open to you.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah, like that.
There's no prep here. On your perfect Disney day, where do you head to? What park?
If we're going for the perfect day,
yep,
it would have to be all four of them within the one day. I think that's the bit that gets me. I kind of get a bit greedy on things like this, and
I'm going to make you see a park hopper.
Yeah, and I just felt that, but you can't do that. And I think really with the use of the word perfect, and I would actually urge anyone who is actually watching this or listening to this, is just reel it in a little bit. Don't go with that ideal of it being absolutely perfect. It has to be perfect for you, but it has to be on your terms. And I think that really, by me starting and saying, it has to be 4 parks in a day, it kind of, if you've got a group of people with you, then if you're putting them through absolute hell to actually experience Disney, that's maybe not the right thing to do. And I think that's the thing. It's planned sensibly. You know, I was talking to the family and they said, what are you doing on the show tonight? I said, perfect Disney day. And so I could go really off the scale and say, we just go to Epcot for opening, go drinking around World Showcase, get absolutely hammered. And actually, and even my missus turned around, she just said, but we've never done that. It's just like, all right, okay. But it's, it is that thing though of just limiting what your expectations are, because you read so many stories of people who generally online, Facebook groups and things like that, where people just turn around and go, I'm never going again. I'm not going back to that place because actually we were there for hours and hours and we didn't see Mickey Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, if you plan it, and that's hopefully what this show will be, if you plan stuff, you can make things happen that will make it magical for you. I think that's probably the best way of describing it.
How about you, Adam? So John's off to Epcot to get hammered. So where would you start your
actually, I don't think I am. I think that's probably the worst thing to start with, because actually I don't think I would, because it ruins the day.
Yeah.
And that's the bit
probably
that
the next day too.
Mind. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the spending money.
Hey, it ain't cheap to drink around the world.
No, it's not. No, definitely not.
Just to echo what John's saying, I think if you're thinking about encapsulating a perfect Disney day, it's full of Disney moments and perfect Disney moments. So it is about the people you're experiencing it with. It's about those, not necessarily the ones that you're planning for, those spontaneous moments that happen, which really do make a perfect Disney day. But I think every Disney day for me, especially at this moment with 2 young kiddos in tow, the perfect Disney day starts with this resort mug
Yes.
filled with Joffreys.
I know
And,
Becca couldn't be here tonight, but her first thing when I said, "What would you start your Disney day with?" and she said, "Coffee."
coffee.
Yeah.
I'm with her.
It's like,
Yeah.
Good call, that.
right, I get it, and especially when it's always difficult because I always think a perfect day is that first day you've woken up early, you've got the jet lag, so you've
Yep.
somehow woken up 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and just waiting the time to go by before the park opens. That you have to just head for coffee, head for something, or your resort mug, and just get on that bus or
Yes.
arrive at the park. And usually, it's just something special when you just arrive at the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
I know it isn't always our first park day. By tradition, we've always gone to like Hollywood Studios, but a lot of that depends on where we stay. But I just think a trip doesn't feel like it started until you've walked down Main Street, and you just hear the train, you just hear the atmosphere, and you just get to see that castle.
Yeah, it's a magic moment every time, isn't it?
Yeah. If you could bottle that sort of experience up, it would probably cost less than every time that we go to Disney World every year.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. Very
But
true.
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to tonight's show. It's going to be very good. I think.
Yeah.
Do you think we have some time to cover the news, John?
Oh, definitely. I've got a nice. I found my post-it. I had a bit of news that. There we go. Look, it's written there.
It's just like on the BBC.
Exactly. Yeah. I won't be that. I won't be that. I won't make that mistake where she sort of had her fingers
like 4, 3, 2, 1. Go on then, John.
Got caught out on the two. Do you know something? I was absolutely fascinated, and this is actually this bit of news. I didn't realise this week in history, Sesame Street premiered in 1969. And the love and the amount of different, it might just be because I liked something, on Facebook, but the amount of, and Instagram, but the amount of different Muppet stuff that's come as a result of that. But I'm thinking that's why I became such a big Muppets fan, because Sesame Street was started the year I was born, which is even more scary. But I just felt, we take so much of this for granted, and we take so much of what Jim Henson left for all of us. I mean, and we actually don't realize how old some of that stuff is. And when you look back to some of the things that Sesame Street actually did, it was possibly one of the best kids programs that I got to see in that generation. And I think Adam,
I remember growing up on Sesame Street.
Absolutely.
But it's bizarre though, and I think, Adam, when you've got younger kids, you have different things that now have that. I wouldn't even say it's educational. I know my kids grew up. Our Josh, Bear in the Big Blue House was his go-to kind of Disney thing. But it's kind of, there's nothing. Certainly for me, because I haven't got young kids, and so if you've got young kids, as you have, do you have that same input? Because actually, Sesame Street rewrote kids' TV, and actually that whole bit of just filling time on the TV with stuff that was, one, educational, two, quite funny for adults to actually watch, and three. They didn't always get it right, but actually from a theatre point of view, it was stunning viewing, and I think that for me is something that will always stay with me. But this
love,
week in history. There you go.
I don't know whether anyone has seen, talking of Sesame Street, the clip that was it Brett Goldstein from Ted Lasso. So was it Roy Kent? All I can say is that if you get a chance, I'll post it in our Facebook community so you can have a watch of that after the show, because I have to admit it's one of the best interactions that I've seen, and he is incredible.
It is brilliant.
I think we're all rooting for season 4 of Ted Lasso, which should be out next year.
Any Ted Lasso, if you've not seen it, make sure you try and get a free Apple subscription to add to it, or and just go and watch it. It's just unmissable. What I was going to say, Ben, the past few weeks we've had an absolutely load of late Disney news before the show, and actually this week we haven't. And actually it's quite refreshing. Apart from Ratatouille closing to go to 2D, and
That doesn't. That's an interesting one, actually. I'm sort of glad they are. Just then, you get rid of 3D glasses. It's not that I felt it added much to the attraction.
Yeah, I think my little mate who sits there and counts and saves Disney money is behind that. But that's maybe another thing. I think the biggest
your favourite bar opened this week, John. The one we mentioned last week. The Perch.
Yeah, the Perch. Yeah. I won't. We won't go down the dead parrot sketch again. I think we did that to death last week.
Yeah.
I think the biggest news of the week, though, and this comes back to us being British, is the fact that temperatures in Florida have been so cold.
They were colder than us yesterday.
Yeah, I know. And it's just like, it just doesn't prepare you for, I could imagine going to Florida and actually then doing what we did when we went to Vancouver Island in 2007, and you turn up, you're thinking I'm on a warmish kind of summer holiday, and then having to go and disgrace yourself by buying hoodies and hats and things that you have loads of at home, and like fleece jackets, purely because you didn't pack them and you really just completely ill prepared for cold weather. So
was it in December 22? We'd only booked the trip in the October, so it was a very last minute trip. But we were thinking from the first couple of weeks beforehand, okay, we better start packing this. So we're going to take shorts, t-shirts, all the sort of stuff. It's like, it's going to be warm according to AccuWeather. A week it had gone down to we were going to arrive on Christmas Eve to temperatures hovering around freezing, and it was like, wait, the app is broken or Florida is broken. It didn't feel right. And when we got to Terminal C, and it was like we were waiting for an Uber, it was freezing. But it was the memories we made the following day on Christmas Day that we walked into Epcot. A lot of people probably avoided the parks because it was so cold. A lot of locals were going like, no, I can go to Epcot any day. I don't have to go Christmas Day or doing family things. So it was, but by the end of the week, it got up to back up to 28 degrees. So such a huge swing from that, having to take winter coats, hats, gloves, scarves, you name it, just to keep warm.
Yeah, it's not good, is it? And
it was a good experience.
Yeah.
Not that I would plan to go. We're going in January, and touch wood, we can have a slightly warmer temperature. And I know Claire's out there next month, so I know she's hoping for warmer weather than what they had yesterday.
Yeah.
A shout out to Nick and Sarah Carter. I saw on Instagram the other day that they had to go out and buy a blanket to keep warm while watching the fireworks. That's not Florida.
That's more like Disneyland Paris.
It just feels wrong. It's such a bizarre thing, and I just feel that, like you said, Ben, it adds to the actual memory. And actually, I know the water parks were shut this week as well because it was so cold.
Yeah.
And actually, to be really honest, Typhoon Lagoon was shut on Tuesday because the temperatures were so low.
Not suitable, really.
But like you said, it puts people off from going to the park. So again, go against the flow. And if you're very British about it, just put your shorts and a t-shirt and a hoodie on, and that's it.
Just keep moving. Just get your steps in.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be fine.
Stop off occasionally for a hot chocolate, and you'll be fine. But yeah, what impressed me was just, I think there was a picture on blogmickey.com where they shared them spraying salt on the Adventureland bridge.
Yeah,
and it was like, wow, that is something I've not seen.
This could be a thing, though, couldn't it? Maybe we could introduce them to the fact that in the UK, people on a local basis, they give gritters names, don't they? So you get Gritty Mac Gritface and stuff like, it's just like, maybe Disney could go down that line and like, oh, we're going to bring out Gritter number 3 to do Magic Kingdom. And it's just like, and then, can we name it? There we go.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be something named terribly. Really, usually is.
Yeah, it'd be Elsa, won't it? It'd be just like Diana and Elsa.
Elsa's been out again.
Yeah.
we did see when we were in Epcot, we did see Elsa that day just to check whether it was her that was causing the Meridian's control. So,
if they put a gritter into the Disney parks, there's going to be a hell of a queue to have a selfie with it, isn't there?
Oh, I love that. Yeah. But yeah. There's a few other news items that I've just seen.
What proper news, Ben? There you go.
Proper news.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we've been mentioning this for the past few weeks, but there's only 3 dates that remain for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party tickets available. It's selling out really quickly this year, and I'm not surprised. But when the prices for a ticket compared to what we paid in the past, Adam, have you ever had a chance to do Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party?
Did, yes, but it was many moons ago, many moons ago. So it was a completely different price point and probably more of a limited experience. We had our hot chocolate and our sugar cookies, but it wasn't as extravagant as what it is now. I'd love to do it again. I'm getting FOMO looking at all of the people experiencing it on Insta and getting in a festive spirit.
And the same with Jollywood Nights as well. It's like, we need to go back at Christmas. Every time we're booking a trip, I'm thinking like, why haven't we chosen Christmas? It just looks incredible. You just need to go back.
It does indeed. Yeah. Jollywood, it's the character interactions as well, which just all sound phenomenal. They've got some great characters out there.
It's like, I want to meet Phineas and Ferb. That's on our list. But cool. No, we need to think of a Christmas trip at some point. We keep booking cruises and like they seem to be during the summer, and we need to change something to winter at some point.
Yeah,
and with all the talk of the Disney Destiny that reveal happened over the past week, it looks incredible. It's the 3rd ship in its class. So you've had the Wish, you've got the Treasure, and now you've got the Destiny, and it's all about heroes and villains. Have you seen much on it, John?
No, because I'm not a cruising kind of person, Ben. So I kind of shut myself off from that because I know fine well that
it's not for you.
Yeah, I really I don't know. I get the heebies about being on a boat surrounded by. I've watched Titanic,
Oh, not an iceberg in sight.
Well, you never know with these temperatures.
No, that's true. That's the excuse for not going back to Port Canaveral or Fort Lauderdale. It's like, we can't go back. But yeah. So I think we should skip the rest of the news and head back to planning our perfect day.
Oh, definitely.
So there's so many different things, but are you someone who will always go for rope drop or go to the parks later in the morning?
You're going to throw that at me again, aren't you?
Because John, I think I know your answer because I know you don't want to skip. You'd rather skip breakfast and head to Space Mountain.
Yeah, and actually, this is probably going to surprise you, Ben, because actually, over the past couple of years, usually we would be big rope drop and park opening people, and as a family, we've always loved that part of it. And actually, what we've learned to do is, during the first week, because you're up early, that comes into it. But actually, we've learned to kind of come away from that rush hour and then aim for maybe a 10:30, 11 o'clock start when the big surge to the big rides kind of subsides a little bit. But you then find that the park is then flowing that little bit more. So you're then not in that sort of big scrum first thing in the morning. And that came as a surprise. Even this summer, we actually, I think we just learned to just take it a little bit more in our stride. And because because we went without kids, we knew that we were going to go deeper into the day. So it meant that you could actually just bide your time and actually, yeah, use the app. Be very careful as to what you want to do at certain times, because you can actually pick up some, basically you get a mid-afternoon parade time in Magic Kingdom. You can actually get some really short wait times on some of the bigger rides, or the ones that generally are queued out with families, Peter Pan especially. And so you can make it work for you. And that probably comes from a little bit of experience over the years. In the past, we would just basically have gone in, and I think that's probably because we've not got fast passes.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I will not pay the price for buying a lightning lane. Not because I'm tight, it's more because of the fact that I just disagree with the principle of it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I have to admit, we've always gone by we normally at home, we're generally up early and about. On holiday, it seems to be up even earlier. So it's just something that will always be either going to breakfast somewhere or making our way to a park, whether it's driving or getting the bus or Skyliner, or depends on where we stay. Sometimes we'll even walk to a park. So it's always nice to be there when the rope drops. So when you get the chance to just walk into Magic Kingdom and go into Hollywood Studios. I remember one time we were at Hollywood Studios an hour before park opening because we read the times wrong. we were like an hour early for early entry. So, but it was an incredible experience because they still had cast members there, and we were just talking, and we were the first ones in the park that morning, and it just felt special.
Yeah.
And it was just a great atmosphere, and it was the first morning of our trip. A bit of jet lag kicked in. Like, no, we were awake, but we managed to get so much done in that first couple of hours.
Yeah.
That we thought actually this just fits for us. So we just went. I remember that trip. We just spent most of it in like Toy Story Land, and then into like Galaxy's Edge, and just managed to get all of those sort of done within that first amount of time. And it's amazing how much you can do if you then go in a few hours later and then see what the wait times are like. It's really difficult to work out sort of what's the best. You've got to try it. You've got to try it out and see how because there are some people that won't want to get up that early, won't want to be for park opening. But actually, if you can try and get there before park opening and get through security, get to the front of the line or towards it, and then just be in that first group of people.
Mm-hmm.
It has massive benefits, Ben. And actually, if you're from the UK, I know we do have people who join us from the US, and we love the fact that you do. So, but it's hard to describe that like I said, that first week where and my family just laughed the socks off at me because I hate getting up for work every morning. But suddenly you're in the middle of Orlando and you're awake from maybe 4 or 5 a.m. and you're like wide awake. It's not just like snoozy awake. It's just like it's full on. I need to get up. I need to get doing. I've been in the pool before the kids even wake up. Before it's just like when you're just like alive and the adrenaline kicks in, and actually, it is. There is times where you actually get there for the first possible moment. I know we were talking before the show about being at Universal, and what's really interesting, if you compare the two, Universal have got early entry for their parks for hotel guests. So if you're off site, it kind of works against you, because actually by the time you're allowed in, hotel guests have been there for an hour.
Yep.
So you're at no advantage whatsoever unless you're staying in one of their hotels. And it just, I don't know, it's always something to just bear in mind and look at the perks that hotels have as to what you're going to turn up at the park. And you think, oh, I'm going in for opening, but you might find it's not actually opening. So,
and it's also sort of planning what's on that day. I remember during the summer we had a few issues where we wanted to go in and just see Disney Starlight. Yeah. But when it was the Halloween party and when you got Christmas at the minute, it's not on every night.
You're
so
right.
If you missed it, so you then have to like, oh, that's not going to fit into my plan with what I want to do. So it is understanding the park hours and working out what your must-dos are on the trip, because I think the best thing is to have that list of must-dos.
Yeah.
Throughout your whole time that you're there, you get to achieve those. You can ignore everything else. As long as you get your must-dos done, you're going to be happy at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like I've said it on many of episode our side, and it's certainly something when you become a parent and you've got young kids that you're having to get up early, or they're trying to get you up early. Let's face it. There's guidelines.
Do you know
and
something?
rules.
They actually get jet lagged more than we do.
Yeah,
at their age, and that surprised me when we first went with kids. It's the fact that they as much as they'll wake up at 7 a.m. in the UK, when that's 2 a.m. Florida time, that becomes a little bit of an issue, doesn't it? Like it's just like,
definitely, yeah. Our first days we are up early doors, hence the coffee.
Yeah.
But no, I think exactly that, and I think like it's a little bit of that, and it's also a little bit of like you said, John, the holiday adrenaline, which from our perspective and from a family perspective, that's the reason why I guess we would be more consistent of a rope drop than we would be a park close. And like you said, you get a lot done if you get up that early. You do.
That's a good way of looking at it, and actually, I think you need to come back on this show in another like 15 years when your kids get older, and it's really interesting, and it's not to do with the kids, but it's actually they tend to enjoy a later night because it's different than everything that they've done when they were younger. And when we've had to dip out of the park and things like that, so they're still getting a buzz out of the fact that they're doing something that's kind of relatively new. Yeah, because in the past you've actually been forced into, right? I think if we've been in since opening, we just need to basically let's rein this in a little bit, because otherwise you do end up with cranky kids. So bear that one in mind. Very true.
That's the thing. If you've been in the park since park opening and you're hitting like, I don't know, 11, 12 o'clock, it's getting warm in Florida, and you've done quite a few attractions and a few sort of shows, sometimes you get to a point where it's like, I need to stop. Especially if you haven't eaten, you may have grabbed a couple of snacks, but actually, do you sort of plan time out of the parks and then just take a break? To just whether you do go and see a show in the park where you're doing something that's different, or whether you go and leave the park, we always try and, if we're in early, we'll always try and go out between like 11 and 1. Just try and go out to get some lunch, because food I find is much better out of the park than it is in the park, especially when you've got so many resorts around. And then also gives you a chance to decompress, work out what we've done so far, what else is on our list. Do we want to go back into the same park? Do we want to do what John was suggesting at the beginning, begin a 4-park challenge? How many times we've done that? We've thought lunch, going like, oh, we've done Magic Kingdom now. Like, I fancy going to Epcot. So then we end up going to Epcot, and then we go to Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom, and then how many times that we've ended up accidentally doing a 4-park challenge because we just there's only a couple of things that we decide we want to do, and it's just then working out what your next thing, because we've used Lightning Lane quite a few times. I detest paying for it, but sometimes you get to the point in the trip, or if you're only doing a shorter trip like 7 nights, sometimes that actually you want to make sure that you've been on like a flight of passage to make sure that you've done it that trip. There's only a few attractions that I would pay for, and one of them was Guardians, because if we haven't done Guardians that trip, we haven't done Epcot right.
Oh, definitely.
I still haven't done it.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, wow.
I know that's the exact reaction I get every time.
Yeah, but that's going to be a difficult one when you got young kids as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, this was the issue not the issue.
Yeah.
This was the reason why the plan pivoted when we were there last time. We had a virtual queue as it was at the time, and it was at that crucial time in the afternoon where kiddos of a certain age would prefer to either be napping or in a pool. And that's what we did, because like you said, cranky kids equals cranky adults, and that's not a good combo. So next time it is on the must-do list
Yes.
for sure.
Oh, that's be so good when you get a chance to do it.
Yes,
Okay,
can't
so
wait.
you know where you're going. What's the ride that gets you into the park? What's the first thing you head to in? Let's do each park. You've got one
Okay.
attraction.
Okay.
What's your must do in each park? I'll start with Magic Kingdom. My must do is Big Thunder Mountain. Even though
Classic.
it's
When it's
closed at the
open.
minute. When it's open. I was going to say the riverboat, but we can't talk about it.
Don't mention it. I mentioned it once. I think we got away with it.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely that for Magic Kingdom. What about
Magic
you, John?
Kingdom? Magic Kingdom's an interesting one, isn't it? There's so many attractions. So many attractions.
Yeah. And it depends on where you are in Magic Kingdom and especially when you used to do like the early entry, that not all of it's open.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
true.
sometimes we would always like, oh, Big Thunder's not open at that time, so we'd end up getting in the queue for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and you realise it's like an hour-long queue, and you think like, I should have just got a coffee and waited for Big Thunder to open.
Yeah.
I think in a way that's how Magic Kingdom has changed over the years, though.
Yeah.
Because I think previously you would never have a lot of people who go for Splash first thing because it's a little bit, it's not quite, the sun's not quite out. So if you did get very wet, you've got to be a little bit chilly and stuff like that. So Big Thunder becomes an attraction. But then you've also got Jungle Cruise for those as a distraction for those people turning left to get to Big Thunder. When the Seven Dwarfs went in, I think that took away an awful lot of people who went for Space. And I actually feel Space at the moment, when you go for opening, I think Space is the one that doesn't get the massive queue quite as quickly. And I think it's well worth doing because you can be off Space by about 9:30 for a 9 o'clock opening. And then you suddenly find yourself, it's like, oh, I can pick up some of the smaller rides because everyone's in the queue for Seven Dwarfs, or everyone's in the queue for Big Thunder, or everyone's in the queue for Tiana's. And you suddenly find yourself, you have got that little window of opportunity to pick up some real good sort of tick them off and then move on. And that for me is where I was in Magic Kingdom. I would go to Big Thunder first, just purely out of the fact that I know that I'll get on quick and I'll get out quick.
How about you, Adam? Where are you heading to in Magic Kingdom?
Magic Kingdom, I think, if I think back of when I was growing up, I would be with you, Ben. And it will always be one of my favorite rides in Walt Disney World is Big Thunder Mountain for sure. With kids, we've fallen into a bit of I don't know if we can call it a ritual now, but we end up going to probably the least anticipated ride in the whole of Magic Kingdom, and we go directly straight to the carousel. Don't ask me why. But with the kiddos, that's the first thing, going around the castle. If you can get through it in those magical moments when it's open, go through the castle into Fantasyland with the kids, and the first thing they see right in front of them is the carousel. And Penny, our daughter, absolutely loves it. Noah, obviously, when he went was young as well, so we end up going to the carousel. It was a bit of a tradition the last couple of years, but I will agree with you. If it was me on my own, I was going on a solo trip, the first place I would go would be left to Thunder Mountain for sure.
Yeah, Big Thunder Mountain was my first ever Disney roller coaster.
Yeah, same.
So it's got the memories, and it felt terrible in August being there, like, oh, it's closed. But when we're back next time, we'll get a chance to go back on it. I can't wait to see what they do. But yeah, it's really interesting just to see how the park splits up and how people go in different ways.
Yeah.
But if Epcot is our park choice, I would probably be going straight for Guardians.
I knew you were going there.
The thing is, with virtual queue, we tend to always get something that was like either early, like in like the first 10 or 20. So it was like by the time that we've actually parked the car or got the bus, and our boarding group was normally called pretty much straight away. Yeah. When we got through. So actually now with having it's just we'll rope drop it. We'll just get there, do it, and if you get a chance and the queue's low enough, we'll just go back on again.
Yeah.
That's just such an incredible attraction that I can't think of going anywhere else unless I'm walking the other side of Epcot, which we did a couple of times on our last trip. So we're coming through International Gateway.
Yeah.
We usually would head to Test Track.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
I see. This is another thing. When Test Track reopened, it split that queue, and it split the audience. And I think this is a really good thing to know, because a lot of people would go to Remy, which takes a lot of people. People still go for Soaring because that's a traditional park opening ride. Guardians eats up a park crowd incredibly. And so you've got everyone going to other places. And Test Track, when it reopened, it kind of sucked up loads and loads of people.
Yeah.
And yet, keep it to yourself. If you're able to do the single rider, you can be onto Test Track within 10 minutes maximum, and you're out of there, and you can go and do it again
If you want to.
Yeah, I love Test Track. I really do. But I really feel that nobody kind of knows the single rider is such a shortcut.
Yep.
And we went as a couple, but decided we're not going for the photo and things like that. So it's just the fact that we want to go and ride Test Track. But even as we've been as a family, we've split up on the single rider line. And there was a time last summer where we were in the same car, and we just moved somebody around and said, would you mind just so we ended up in the outside seat, so we were both sitting behind each other, so we were the first people in the car for the ride photo.
Oh, I like that.
Absolutely perfect.
That's good.
See, single rider is really good there, and I think a lot of people used to avoid it, especially in its previous iteration where you got to design the car, because there was always that bit of like, I want to design the car, I don't get to do that on a single rider. But now they've taken that away completely. It doesn't make any difference. I think next time if the queue's like longer than like 30 or 40 minutes, we'll probably just single rider, because it'll make sense for us to do.
I've got to say, Ben, it's a massive saving, and I'm always reticent to share little tips like this, because actually, because I know fine well the next time I go, it's going to bite me on the backside, and someone's going to be like, "There you go, that was you sharing all that whole thing about single."
Do you know
rider.
what? I'm just looking through the comments and just seeing sort of what people's thoughts are of like Magic Kingdom, Jungle Cruise, and People Mover.
People Mover is a good shout.
People Mover's,
I think that's a really good shout.
No one it's one of those ones that until you've been on it, you just don't know how relaxing it is. I saw a TikTok video the other day where someone was on there and they just spoke to a cast member, just say, "Can you let me go around a few times?" And they just kept going and going.
Yeah, no,
and just
so nice.
like, especially when it's quiet as well and there's not much of a queue. But
I've got a thing about the People Mover, and forgive me if I'm wrong, because actually this is if you've got young kids and you want to go on Space Mountain, the People Mover is the greatest way of like child swapping. So when your kids, when you got one child who's big enough to go on Space Mountain and the other can't, and you're suddenly in that bit of, oh my word, how do I entertain this child? And they don't feel like they're missing out. People Mover every single time. Yeah. And both my kids have got such fond memories of the fact that they knew, even when they were both too small to go and ride it, they knew what we were doing when we were going on the Space Mountain with a fast pass. The old paper fast passes, it was that long ago. And it was a case that we would actually, one of us would be the sacrificial lamb and ride the People Mover. And then maybe if the queue was a bit long, we'd go and do Carousel of Progress. And then we'd come off and then we reunite as a family. And then we'd flip it over. And so my wife would then go and do the People Mover and the Carousel. And the other, and then I would go and ride the Space Mountain. It's just brilliant, and
Oh, I
actually,
love that.
it's just such an understated part of Magic Kingdom, and just such a beautiful way of just looking at the history of how that park came into being. Yeah, it's one of them places that I really feel that it needs preserved forevermore. I was a bit disappointed when they took the turnstile out. I quite like that little turnstile. It just it had its own little place in history.
It's a bit like the sort of, it's not an escalator, is it? It's the sort of the moving walkway that just never works. And you have to walk, it feels like you're like doing a gym session, walking up there and then walking back down. Something else for Disney to fix. But yeah, Adam, what's your choice in Epcot? You're getting there for a rope drop. What's your first thing you're heading to?
Epcot for me, and Walt Disney World in general. I think I can't go to Walt Disney World and not go on Soarin'. And I think Epcot is my go-to when it comes to first attraction in Epcot. I just love it. I've loved both versions of it that we've had so far. We're going to be lucky enough to have a limited offering next year, which fingers crossed will still be around when I head out there in August. So I'm looking forward to hopefully going on a third iteration of it. I think it's just fantastic. There's just something about that ride. I love it. Bent Eiffel Tower and all.
It has got better. It has got better.
Yes. Yeah,
but I'm just trying to think what they're going to do for like the US version. What monument are they going to bend instead of the Eiffel Tower?
But maybe we get the and if you listen to the US, I do apologize. This has just come straight into my head. It's like they could just have the music from Bonanza. The old TV show Bonanza, and we could just go and drop into every American city. I think that would work. That would be good.
Oh, I love that.
That might come to because I know when they first announced that, the amount of different memes that came up on social media about how you could actually you could be soaring over whatever part of America. I'm not gonna degenerate the whole argument, but it was funny. I thought it was quite hilarious.
It's nice to see that Soarin' is getting another update. But part of me thinks that they've got like 3 screens. Could they do 3 at the same time? So a bit like Star Tours, where you can have your own you're never sure which one you're going to go into. It'd be quite good to like have the original Soarin' over California, then Soarin' around the world, and then Soarin' across America.
I think that would be. We've had that same conversation as a family recently. Yeah, because actually, I think even in the podcast we've said this before. That would be the perfect way of actually having the A, B, and C screens of Soarin', where you can actually. And I know technology, you need to have it programmed so you get the same smells and you get the same, the ride moves in a certain way. But now they've got 3 shows. Surely that would be a way that you actually, you could actually say, oh, I want to go and see screen A.
Yeah. I think the queue for the original one will be the longest. I just think for the nostalgia.
I think it'd be a brilliant thing, and I really do feel that I hope that comes in the future. I really do, because I think that'd be a great way of doing it.
So I would spend a lot of time in the Land Pavilion if that's the case.
Yeah, same here.
I wouldn't see daylight.
Yeah,
and then you've got to finish Soarin' and going on Living with the Land.
Absolutely,
it's just a rule, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I haven't done a trip recently without going and Living with the Land, and especially if you get a chance to go around Christmas when it's all lit up. The greenhouse is it's amazing. It's something that's definitely on my list. But I think it's time to move parks. Something in Hollywood Studios. So there's quite a few options, quite a few headliner attractions you can go to. I would, through experience, we would normally go to Galaxy's Edge. Because if we're there early, a few times we have been and we've managed to do Rise to Resistance, go and do Smuggler's Run, and then go get a Ronto wrap, all within an hour of the park opening. And then we just get to like, we've had a Star Wars morning, and then it's time for us to plan the rest of the day.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I would say Rise of Resistance is probably where we go to.
Interesting.
I've got to admit, I used to be one of those people that back in the and we're going back in history. We're going back to paper fast pass time, where when you could get in the park for opening, and there was that bit where my previous experience of running is probably limited to winning the 100 meters when I was at school. However, you don't run in a Disney park, but I tell you what, you can really get your strides in when it used to be the race to the fast pass machine for Toy Story Mania back in the day was quite the thing. With your sharp elbows out at both sides, and you were just like, right, that's our first stop, and then we'll go and do whatever. And I still miss that. I still miss the competitive.
I think there's a health and safety person going, I'm so glad we don't do paper fast passes anymore. Imagine if they brought it back now, it would be like Walmart opening on a Black Friday. So
you're absolutely right, Ben. That's exactly what it would end up with. And actually, that probably shows. And this again, I don't want to take us off on a different tilt, but actually that shows how much life has changed within probably the past 10 years. It's quite sad, really, isn't it? Can I just point out, right? So, in all the time we've done this, it's very rare. I'm going to call him out on this.
You're calling him out, are you, John?
Shackles in the chat, right? And this is a really poignant moment because I know he's somebody who's read all my trip reports. I know he's watched and listened to nigh on everything that we've done, but he never usually comes in the chat on a Wednesday. A big welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you've actually posted, and that was going to be my answer as well. Tower of Terror, Hollywood Studios, every single time. But good to see you, and I'm glad that you're watching us live.
That's a great shout, Tower of Terror as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just the greatest ride.
Especially first thing in the morning, but it's normally a walk on. It's normally 13 minutes.
Yeah.
And apart from the last time we did it for 13 minutes, it wasn't good. First time did 13 minutes, I think I was waiting 45. Becca had already drunk 2 cups of coffee by that point. With the jockey stand outside. So I was like, I'm not going to complain. The queue is amazing. It's a good atmosphere, and it's still a good way to start your day.
Yeah, definitely. I think, again, thinking like solo trip for me, it would be going that way for start of a Hollywood Studio Day. It will either be Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, depending on which one had the better queue at that time, and then I'll flip to the other one for sure. With kids, and actually going back to the MGM days, first and foremost, always used to be the Great Movie Ride as my first attraction when I was growing up, when it was the MGM days. Now, as a parent, first in Disney's Hollywood Studios is going straight to that same Chinese theater, but for Mickey and Minnie's.
That's a good show. I love that.
It's such a good ride. I wish, like so many, I wish they found space for both, but I do love a bit of Mickey and Minnie's, and that then leads to that song being stuck in your head for the full day. If you do that,
when you go in Small World, isn't it? It's just like I scroll through TikTok quite frequently, and occasionally someone's posted a video of just the opening of that show, and I just go like, that song is in my head at least all day, maybe for the rest of the week.
Yeah, it's true.
There's nothing can stop it now.
It's true. It is true.
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
It's really
and I think Hollywood Studios always had that thing where there's been so many attractions that have either changed or moved or updated over the years that we all go back to like the original versions that we like. So a bit like John was saying about doing the walk to Toy Story Mania, the one where you're elbowing people on the way to get your fast pass. Remember, every fast pass we'd normally get for it was always 6 p.m. But it was one of the last ones there. It's like, there's not many left.
No, you need to be quicker than that.
But then you have to stay in the park all day because I've got this fast pass. Or you're lucky enough to gift it to a friend or family, or just spread a bit of Disney magic and just share it with someone.
Yeah.
I'm really taken by this because actually I think we've got something a little undercurrent going in the show here, and that is how when you've got young kids, it changes your actual point of attack on a theme
Absolutely.
park.
It does.
And what I've been interested is you've gone for rides that are really big on getting the kids absolutely in tune with where they're at, and it's that get the big impact visually for them. So it kind of creates a little bit of space and time for you a little bit later in the day, and I think that's a cracking way of actually, you know, if anyone's listening to this and actually you've got young kids, it's a great way, a great win. Don't go for the selfish I want to go on.
Yep.
Get the kids sorted. Get the kids absolutely in that bit of they've had this. So then you can explain that mum and dad want to go and do this. And actually, they can't argue with that. They can't throw the toys out the pram proverbially, because they've had their bit of input.
Yeah.
And that's a really good. I'd forgotten about how important that was, because if they see that they see that they're left holding the coats outside the ride, it doesn't kind of get them into that spirit of Disney early in the day. You know,
and I think we were all like that. There's not many parks that you walk into and just go, I'm just going to sit here and relax and just watch the day go by. You're more likely to want to go and get a few attractions done before.
Yeah.
And I know Claire and Robin have done solo trips before where they're on their own and just going and just have a different way of doing it, because you're not having to think about what the rest of the family want to do. When we went as a family in August, it was very different because we hadn't been sort of in the group that we've been before. So it was Becca and I had a very different plan of what sort of a 2-week trip to Disney is, and we know what we want to do, what our must-dos are. When with some people who haven't been as often as us, it's not as easy. You've got to try and work out your must-dos, their must-dos, and what matches and what sort of day you're going to have. Because if you try and promise yourself, I'm going to do everything in this one day, you're just setting yourself up to fail.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think sometimes you get to a point where it's like, when we did Epic, we had you only get one day to do it. It's difficult to try and make your perfect day when you've literally only got one day in the park to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just going in with low expectations, and then you'll just be surprised. And I think that's what we found. And I think that goes with any park. If you lower expectations, you're just always going to exceed them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But I think that goes back to the point we just made about how people have changed over the past 10 years as well, Ben, because actually people have become that little bit more selfish and they expect so much. Or maybe it's a generation thing, and maybe this generation that are coming through where they go in and they're expecting everything to be, I can get on this, and this because I pay for my ticket.
Yep.
They don't see the fact that they're within a wider group of Disney fans or even Universal fans who are sharing an experience within a theme park in one given day. I think there's a whole research paper to be done on that.
Yeah. I think everyone experiences things differently, and I think we all go to Disney we all have that shared love of Disney, but not all of us go to Disney for the same reason. Some of us go for a vacation holiday to switch off, and just be absorbed by the Disney bubble. Some of us just go to see friends, family, or just going somewhere it's familiar and it's a different place to just switch off and relax. We all have a different reason. But when you've got everyone with different reasons in a park, all trying to do the same thing, it's not always fun. I remember the experience you get when you're entering an attraction and it's just experiencing technical difficulties. You just see everyone's sort of disappointment. Half the people will stay in the queue, half people will leave the queue. It's quite a different sort of mentality. So,
is it maybe though, Ben, as well? And you can tell me to shut up if I'm wrong. But again, I know we spoke about in the news, and I know I flippantly mentioned this last week about the fact that the Christmas party was selling out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Having had so many Halloween parties that were rained out, and yet that queue at guest services from people who have had a really decent night out, and yet feel as if I have to go, I have to make a complaint, and I, for one, really, I yearn for that year of a million dreams that happened way back, probably far too many years than I wish to recall, about 2008, something like that, where Disney would give a little bit of magic back to the guests. Now, at the moment, people are actually complaining about every little small thing that even my little mate in accounts is not going to be able to say, well, we can actually give a little bit of magic back, because actually the people who are in the parks are not understanding what the magic is. And I think it has to be a two-way thing. And I think that's that. And again, I might be talking absolute tosh, but it's something I feel that's how it's moved on. And as a company, I think what we need to encourage is everybody who is going to the park, just lap up the magic, and it's there. It still is there.
Yeah.
And yet,
John,
people...
I will agree with that. We were there for a Christmas party in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first one. We thought, oh, well, there'd be loads of people, loads of vloggers, loads of all of this. There weren't any. It wasn't the media night, luckily for us. But it did rain. We got into the park, I don't know, about 5 o'clock. But from 7 p.m, as soon as the party started, you had that fine drizzle that we're used to in Britain. But it just got heavier throughout the evening. Yeah. I've got video of the fireworks, which were brand new for that year. And it was just foggy. You couldn't see the fireworks. It was just... But what shocked me was 2 days later, we were talking to some people on the bus, I think, to Epcot. And they had said that they got a refund of that night because it got rained off. Yeah. We had an incredible evening. We interacted with so many cast members. We got loads of photos. We had a great time. We went on Big Thunder in the rain. It was incredible. Yeah. But to me, we had an incredible experience. I don't want a refund on that. I feel that would taint the experience. Mm-hmm. I was sort of frustrated that people are doing that just because of the weather. You know, weather is going to happen, but you make the most of it. How many times have we been in a Disney park and it's rained? Do you ask for a refund on your Disney ticket? You don't. You wait for the crowds to leave, and then you just get on with your day. And things change, but it really did surprise me. But maybe that's just more how people are now expecting refunds for things, or a different bit of magic in a different way, because they didn't get 100% exactly what they were sold.
Well, not to deviate too much from the topic, but this day and age, and as much as I love the Disney community and the social media that goes around the Disney community, everything is instant. Everything is instant. Everything is a highlight reel. So the expectation for people going over there who have spent a lot of money is to have that same experience, have that highlight reel, have what they've seen on the vloggers and the Instagram accounts. And when it doesn't necessarily materialize the way it is, then people will be disappointed if that is their expectation. You got to remember, especially if you're talking to weather, you got to remember Walt Disney World, as magical as it is, it's Florida, and weather is going to happen every day. Like it is.
And it does rain. It rains in August.
It does. It does.
Who knew it? They have a rainy season all the way from June to November.
Yeah.
It's the things that even Disney can't control. Even though I've seen all of those crazy posts that happen when there's a hurricane and they close the park, and it's like, surely Disney aren't prepared for this. And it's those sort of things you think, like, really? The weather is something Disney can't control.
Yeah.
I saw something, it was like an AI, because everything's AI these days, like a generated AI installation of a dome that's going to sit right above Walt Disney World to cater for so it will be perfect every time you go.
See, I think there needs to be that for Disneyland Paris, especially when they have that new water.
Yes, very
true. It need to be heated. That's the thing. You know?
Very true. Very true.
But yeah, I think we've got one more park to choose from. So the first in the morning, Animal Kingdom. Where are you going? Because it's a difficult one. Last time we did Flight of Passage at Rope Drop. and it was the worst decision we made that day. Because we got there, I don't know, 7:25 for 7:30 early entry. I think everyone else had turned up as well. So we got in that queue. We thought, oh, we'll have the breakfast at Satuli Canteen afterwards. We were in that queue for over 90 minutes. First thing in the morning, when normally we've been in previous and it's only been 30. So we sort of regretted it once we got through, like, we're starving, we're like, we need to do flight passage, we're in the queue now, we did it, had a good breakfast afterwards. But then I looked at the queue for, like, Expedition Everest. All that time, we could have been on that multiple times, we could have been in that dinosaur and pretty much done a lot of other stuff in the park. So for me now, looking at it, I think it's a better move that we should have gone to Everest, because first time in the morning, it's always a short queue.
I think you're spot on. I actually feel that it's one of those places that everyone heads to the left, and if you just basically put yourself in that boat where you do the opposite of the masses.
Yeah,
because everyone's going to Flight of Passage. Go and do Everest. If you're there for rope drop in particular, you know you're going to get the weather as well, because actually Flight of Passage isn't quite a good bet when the rain starts. And so you can actually, and the queue line is out the way, you will stay dry, and it's also air conditioned. So what you will find is that if you're going to do Everest and then the weather comes in the afternoon, you're then going to be, well, I've done that, ticked it off, I'm absolutely sorted. And that for me, that is always why I would always go for Everest, certainly on opening. I just feel that for me is it is one of the greatest rides, and I must admit it's one of the rides that I would really love to go and do a Christmas trip, purely for the fact that I could actually ride Everest in the dark again.
Yes,
because in the night time it is a completely different experience, and it is such a beautifully lit ride.
Yeah,
and just but you don't experience that in the certainly in August. You don't get to experience it. It's fabulous. It really is, and a lot of people have never seen it like that. And I really, even when they did Rivers of Light, and you were in the park and it was open late, I wouldn't bother with Rivers of Light. I would go and ride Everest repeatedly because it was like a 5-minute wait, and it was just like you were just taken away by just how different the experience is when it's dark. And I would never expect that, and that's one thing I really do miss.
Yeah,
Adam, what about you? Go on, tell us.
Everest is fab, and I would love to. I'd love to have it all year round, having the ability to do it at night, because I agree, it just elevates. Disney at night is just magical anyway, but the attractions like Everest that have that sort of light projection of an evening is just fantastic. But taking it back to the daytime and early doors, I'm a Kilimanjaro Safaris rope dropper.
Cool.
It's my perfect way. It's also obviously family friendly, but it's my perfect way of starting an Animal Kingdom day, of going to see the animals at the break of dawn and hopefully getting a lion chorus, because let's face it, lions sleep for the majority of the time that you're going to be in a park in Animal Kingdom. So it's always nice to see them active.
Yeah, I always love that comment when you're driving around and it's like late in the afternoon, they go, oh yeah, cats sleep, like the lions asleep, like cats, like 23 hours a day. It's like,
yeah, that's it.
Missed it.
Can you let me know when the 1 hour is, please?
Yes. It's never the same every day.
It isn't. It isn't, but that would be me. I'd head to Harambe, go to Kilimanjaro Safaris, get my fill with some of the animals. Back row as well, guys. I would request back row every time, just so you can turn around and get a little bit more of the visibility of the animals as well. And try and do it early. If I can't do it early for whatever reason, it's one of the last things I do in Animal Kingdoms, early doors or late in the day.
Yeah,
and they always close about an hour before park closing.
Yeah.
So even though when you're planning your day, it's like, I need to make sure I'm going to do an afternoon or evening one. Just make sure you're there beforehand. We've got
Yeah.
caught a couple of times where we thought the park was closing at 7 and it was actually closing at 6. So by the time we got there at 5:30, thinking we can get on the safari, it's like, oh no, it's already closed.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
but something you don't know until you're there and in the park and you see the sign that it closes at the time it closes that day.
Yeah. Good tip.
Yeah.
Good tip.
But yeah, no, I love Animal Kingdom.
I think
Oh.
as well, it's maybe worth mentioning now. I mentioned the fact that Everest in the dark is incredible. You go to Flight of Passage, and you go to the whole of the holy area of Pandora in the dark.
Yep.
It's just a completely different experience. And again, if you're there in August, previously they did open later. They haven't been, and it is just a sight to behold. It really is. It just triggers so many different. You might have been there like 3 hours previous when it was light, and you wouldn't believe you were actually in the same place.
Yeah.
And you just
so
look at it
different.
and you're just like, oh my word, I didn't see this bit, or I didn't see that, I didn't spot this. But it's how it's been lit. It's the bioluminescent flooring. It's just like it just changes your whole experience of being in a theme park. And I really, I know recently I always get a little bit uppity about what Disney do and stuff like that. But this theme park as a whole becomes a completely different entity in the dark, and we need to be given the privilege to see it in the dark a little.
There needs to be a petition that keeps Animal Kingdom open to at least 9 p.m.
Yeah, a bit more often.
Come on, Disney.
Bit more often.
Well, if they do put that dome over the top, they can just change the lighting. And...
Yeah, that's true. Here's our daytime and nighttime. Yeah. They could be fireworks at 3 PM if they wanted to turn the lights out.
The Simpsons movie.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Well, they have announced the Simpsons, the sequel to that, which Disney are doing. So.
Yeah.
I wonder how many
any
Disney
company
World
can do it.
references are going to be in there.
Yeah, there'll be loads. There will be loads. Absolutely loads. I can't wait.
Well, now we've talked about road drop. I think we should finish by talking, where would you end your day? What fireworks show, entertainment in the evening are you going to? And I know this is controversial. I'm also going to let you choose ones that are no longer there anymore.
No!
Because if your day was perfect, if your day was perfect, and we're throwing all rules out, and I know John's going to go Illuminations. But
Ben. No, I'm actually not.
I'm choosing no one's going Epcot forever. But, I absolutely love that show when it was the original one with the jet skis and the kites, and we had the dream of what Harmonious was going to be. I'm going to go Fantasmic because just that music, just waving the arm, just one of the best things of going to see Fantasmic is just sitting in sort of the stadium arena, sitting down, and the pre-show music is just the best vibe I find of just, it's the right sort of music that gets you ready for the show. Everyone is smiling, happy, doing Mexican wave. Everyone's just...
It's that new wave punk kind of versions of classic Disney music.
Yeah.
And
it's all the films from the 90s.
Yeah.
So you've got some Hercules, you've got Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, you've got Cruella. There's so many different versions of songs. Yeah. And it just sets, I think it just sets the scene for that show.
No, I agree. And actually, I've got someone in our house who did make a mention of the fact that, well, if you're going to talk about going to the end of the day, then Fantasmic has to be the only place that you finish it off. And again, being a junior waffler, Josh, that's always been Josh's go-to.
Yeah. I don't blame him.
And always will be. But since you've changed the rules and things like that, Ben, then I can't actually, I can't let the show go without actually saying the fact that if we're going old school, then I'd be going to Magic Kingdom. I'd be going for Spectro Magic, followed by Wishes, and then that would be perfection, and it would be the greatest day at Disney ever. Full stop. Take me back to 2010 before they got the Main Street Electrical Parade back again. And it was just perfection. It was truly the greatest way to finish a Disney day. And
if Disney need an
they
idea
changed it.
for a fifth park, where what they need to do is to be able to rotate full of nostalgia. So from attractions to shows to fireworks to entertainment, bring about entertainment that hasn't come back since COVID. It was just the Main Street Trolley Show.
Just bring the trolley show back. It can't be that difficult, can it? Like,
Well,
it's a trolley with people singing and
bring back Magical Express. Come on, Disney.
yeah.
There's so many different
It's
things.
just like-
But they could have a park that is just full of nostalgia and things that, because they always say that people don't like change, and especially with like, Tom Sawyer Island changing, that you could give a place in Walt Disney World that could just look back into history. So you could always have that time of going that will always be, we can change and move things forward, but we can also look back and go, that's what we experienced.
I think we said this in a podcast. Probably, I think, was it mid-July? Was it Russ that was on? And we actually said that Universal are kind of setting themselves up for this with how they're kind of eking back towards that whole bit with Jaws. Yeah, it's really weird because subconsciously the Jaws mug made an outing tonight. And it's just like how prominent that now is within the park. But then we've also got Ghostbusters making a return into the park. And you're suddenly thinking, hang on a minute, they actually see that retro is actually sellable.
Yeah.
And it is actually something that's welcomed. And in some respects, even when you go to Epic Universe and you look at the fountain show and look at the way that they got the fountains, I still to this day think they're actually having an absolute laugh at the fact that Epcot got rid of the Fountain of Nations that was within in the middle of the park, and they're basically sticking two fingers up and going, look, you used to have this, and now we've got something that's even more spectacular, and we're using water, which is again cheap. We've got music, we've got people coming and gathering around.
It works better than those light strips that are supposed to light up the World Celebration Gardens.
Let's not go there, Ben. That's that. But that's the epitome of.
You can have sparkling pavement everywhere in just like a homage to Epcot.
Yeah,
it was just
But retro is something that I feel is such a big thing, because actually you can try and reinvent and you can try and change, but sometimes people want what's familiar and what's bring horizons back. Just little things like it'd be amazing.
I just think with the use of technology as well, with virtual reality and so many different projection mappings, that you could bring these sort of experiences back. Whether it be in a new format or just something different. I think it's something that you could do. But I know Disney are probably more likely to introduce a new hotel than they are a fifth park.
It's true. You've seen the size of the new DVC product that's coming out.
It looks amazing. I can't wait to go there. I think Becca's still calling it, was it Reflections? But now it's Lakeshore Lodge.
That's right.
So it's definitely one that's going to be on our list. But we were having lunch at Geyser Point, and we're just looking across and seeing all these cranes, and that's going to be an incredible resort.
It looks fantastic. Lazy River as well. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of nostalgia with River Country. That'd be fab.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah.
If we're making a nostalgia theme park, if we could have like a River Country land, that would be right up my street for sure.
That would be amazing.
But that'd be totally appropriate for the place as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I think we're onto something there.
So Adam, where are you finishing your perfect Disney day?
Oh, you probably saw me just nodding to both of you while you were talking about both of your options, to be honest. And if I could just say, could
Like,
I
if they
have
were
that?
timed right, you could try and get all 4 in one day, but
Yeah,
unfortunately, that
Yeah.
doesn't tend to happen with Epcot and Magic Kingdom.
no, exactly. The Phantasmic will always be, especially current offerings, will always be up there. It's just, as you
Yeah.
said, it's the vibe of the place as well as the performance. It's the atmosphere. It's the atmosphere outside. You know, once you've got past the bottleneck and you're just spilling out into Hollywood Studios at night, it's a magical feeling as well, with Tower of Terror all lit up. And but there's something about Spectre and Magic and Wishes coming back.
Sorry.
if it was from any time, then I would be sat next to John eating popcorn and taking in Spectre again for sure.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we never got a chance to see it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But the thing though, Ben, and I think this is the other thing that it is something that I don't quite know. I'm maybe I'm in that bit where today, you know, I've watched some people drive really badly today, and when you're thinking the roads in this country never used to be like that, and I'm very much into this bit of looking back at where did we all go wrong. But going back to Spectro and Wishes, you all came together. It was a collective sharing of your own Disney day, and it was beautiful because actually you had maybe it's because we had young kids. I don't know, but you came together and you were able to discuss like we are able to do online and share with everyone on a Wednesday night. But I would actually talk about this, and what's really interesting, we got sidetracked on the mid-month show, which is out in a few days' time, where we managed to get Katie Wetzel back on the show, and it was an emotional roller coaster. I would say that now. If you listen to that in the next week, be warned. It does. Yeah, I think we pushed Katie to the limit. But we were talking about this, and it's the whole fact that you were there and everyone came together, and it's this togetherness that I really feel is so important, that somehow we need to bring that as a big part of not just what we do as a show, but as a community and as people who are making Disney content, is the fact that, you know, talk about it and talk to each other, because actually some of those links that you make, and I'll even go back to how I first met Claire. Yeah, we were both doing the same family tour way back in the day. I don't think we actually talked an awful lot on that occasion. However, we've made up for it since. But that was the whole bit. It wasn't about just yourself. It was about the whole experience, the whole park, and coming together at the end of the day to share that bit of Disney magic. And that, for me, it still hasn't really come back. And even with Starlight, I need to give. I have said I will give it a few more years worth of. Let's see where we go with this. I won't slag it off completely just yet, but it's still lacking. It's lacking that emotional bit for me.
It's lacking people.
Yeah.
In the parade itself. Yeah. I feel like they've gone like, here's our people budget that we've got for entertainment. Let's halve that, and we don't need as many people in the parade.
I think you're right.
But it's one of those things. Would I rather have some entertainment than none entertainment at all?
Absolutely.
I would definitely.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the thing. It's the end of the day is always something I always look forward to on a Disney day, which I know sounds really strange, because I was like being on holiday and going like, oh, I've got 14 days ahead of this. I want to repeat this 14 times. And which makes it even more difficult when you get to the end of your trip. And then you just realize that, oh, I'm now going back to MCO or Tampa Airport. I've got to fly home. Yeah. And how many times that we have looked at flights or sitting in the departure lounge thinking like, we need to come back.
Yeah.
And people talk about the Disney blues. Some people don't think they exist. I think we'll get sad coming off a holiday, but there's something about just being in a place that we love, just whether the weather is cold or whether it's hot. We'll go for Florida for different reasons, but just it's just.
I think as well, Ben. I know we're running out of time and stuff, but let's get rid of that whole thing about perfection, because I think, as Adam said earlier in the show, everybody looks at people's reel, that little 60 seconds worth of Instagram or whatever social media, and they say, "Oh, I want to be that person." I'm really sorry. Like, at the age that I'm at, the same age as Sesame Street. I say again, do the maths on that, please, because actually I don't like to. But I might be in that old and grumpy kind of stage in my life, but actually, I'm looking back and I'm thinking people are really unrealistic, and actually let's get the realism back, and let's enjoy the realism, and let's get that real joy, that childlike joy back into your whole thinking. We did talk to Katie, and I think I mentioned, I don't know if it's in the show or out the show or whatever, but that whole bit when I hadn't been able to go into the Disney park for 5 years, and it was such a hard time, as a family it was a hard time, but that whole bit of, and I filmed it, and it was I felt it was the most stupid bit of filming until I watched it back closely. And at one point, my very first day back in Magic Kingdom, there's a look in my eye where the magic reignited. And after being away for 5 years, that was quite a thing. And I didn't recognize it at the time, but then looking back myself, I saw the moment in which it was just something switched on within my brain and within my eyes. And you're just like, wow, that's what it means to be within that place, as opposed to being in the middle of Greece or Spain or wherever. It's magical. It really is. And that's what we really need to build up again and make people aware that that's why we keep going back.
One of the best days from our trip in August was actually when we spent the evening at Claire's with you, John, family, and just, it was one of those sort of times we just were all at the parks. We were just in the villa, just eating Chinese, having food, just catching up, chatting, and just enjoying each other's company.
Yeah. I'm going to turn that around, because Adam, you said you're going back next. You're there next August.
Yes. Yeah.
What date?
We are there from the 4th.
Excellent.
Of August.
Right, put it in your diary. We're there at the same time. So there we go. I'm going to share, and that's the whole thing. Let's go and share this whole thing, and let's actually spend a bit of time, and we can do that, because actually, I think it's really important, because we do so much of this online, as in different parts of the country, and again, looking back at how many different people are in the chat, and how many people keep coming back to the chat on a Wednesday, and we really appreciate that. It's the whole thing about coming together and being together, and Ben, that's exactly it. There's so few times in the 6 years of doing this when we've actually met face to face, but when we do, you realize why we do this, and actually you realize why Disney is a unifier, and it brings out a little bit of magic in all of us.
Were you saying, John, about Spectrum Magic and Wishes, and that time when it was that gathering of people in Main Street watching both the nighttime parade and also Wishes? And then you think about Ben's answer and the current offering, in my perspective, of Fantasmic.
Yeah.
As we said, the show is one thing. It is fantastic, pun intended, but also it's because we're getting a community of people sat down doing Mexican waves, interacting with people. How many times do you sit next to someone watching Fantasmic and you're talking about your day and interacting
Yeah.
with people around you. It's that community aspect. So it is still there, and it will be the unifier, as you put, which is the perfect word for it. It's the unifier of people who have that like-minded passion for Disney parks, coming together and being able to experience it together.
And as well, though, Adam, when you think back to, I know we haven't spoken about Illuminations, but that whole moment before Illuminations started, right? About the gathering around the fire.
Yes.
And then the whole that monologue before each of those fires had blown out, before the first moment of Illuminations. And even talking now that it makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, because actually it was so powerful, but it was that exact same thing.
Yeah,
it was coming together and sharing your park day, and I think it's truly beautiful.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. It's a great way to end the show, I think, talking about Illuminations. So Adam, I want to say a huge thank you for joining us tonight. Can you let our listeners and viewers know where they can catch you?
Yeah, absolutely. Just before I do that, thank you kindly for both of you for inviting me back. It's been perfect to talk about a perfect Disney day with you guys, so I appreciate it. You can find me over on Devonshire Diz on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, the Devonshire Diz podcast, of course, across platforms. I co-host the Dizload, which is a monthly Disney news podcast as well, and I sometimes contribute to Brit's Guide to DVC with a good friend Kev. So check us out there.
Oh, that's a bit expansive, isn't it? Good grief. Hey, you're busy. My missus would be giving me grief if I was on that many different places. And
but yeah, huge thank you. And it's been great to talk about the perfect Disney day. And I think the best thing is that your day doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to be magical and just go and enjoy it, whether you're up early, taking a break midday just to get that extra snack or two in, or a lap round Epcot drinking, as some of us do, or just finishing the night.
Not me, Ben. Not me.
Or finishing the day with fireworks and that final dose of Disney magic. So I think that's a recipe for a Disney day, whatever it looks like for you.
I think they'll also plug the mid-month there, because the words are from our guest on the mid-month is, "Let's go with the flow."
I love that.
And that's exactly it.
I can't wait to start editing that show that is only out in 3 days' time. So I better start doing that.
It was beautiful.
I can't wait to listen to it. And then when you said it was the emotional roller coaster, that's probably why I haven't edited it just yet.
It's lovely. No, it is one of those shows that you get somebody, and again, like with Adam, is like-minded people coming and sharing just a chat. And just a shared love of life. And this is so important, I think, in this day and age when so many different things go on and people talk about mental health and things like that. The mid-month show is the most beautiful thing. And I actually, we could have spoken for about 3 hours. You'll be thankful when you go to edit. It's not that. It's just over an hour. You're all right, mate.
Well, I was just gutted we couldn't join because we had a power cut for 2 hours.
I know. And we were gutted.
Oh, no.
We were gutted. So we gave you a mention as well, because actually, and I said to Katie, he was just like, "Poor Ben, he's going to be missing this so much." And
we thought about should we drive down to the nearest McDonald's to join the Wi-Fi, but I'm not sure whether we could have set up a microphone and camera and everything without ordering lots of food. So
I mean, we might got something in the background on that one as well. But do go and listen to it. It is life affirming, I think is the way I would describe it, because she is just a bundle of energy and a bundle of positivity, and
that's what we love. That's the whole thing about Disney, is about being positive. There's so much negative in the news, in the world, and we just focus on being positive and counting down to your next Disney trip, which we always wish is sooner than we want.
How many of us are going to be singing "Go with the Flow" until they go to bed now? That's the question.
Sorry.
It's still better than "Nothing Can Stop Us Now." But yeah, if you've got your own idea of your perfect Disney day, please let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to come and join us in our Facebook community, The Wafflers Arms. So if you have enjoyed tonight's show, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe. And if you're listening to us on the replay on the podcast, don't forget to give us a like, and also you can leave a review as well. So we have podcasts that drop on the 1st and 15th of every month. We'll be back next Wednesday for more UK to Orlando fun. We want to take you from the UK and take you to Orlando. So
that's why we do. That's why the only reason we do this, Ben, it's just
because we can just decompress for an hour or so and just imagine us in that freezing cold Orlando weather.
-5.
-5. It's just like being at home, isn't it? So yeah, thank you again, and we'll see you soon.
We'll see you real soon.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair.